Today's my last day here in my house. Tomorrow I leave for Bali indefinitely, and it just feels like very bittersweet, so surreal. And I truly, like, I love my house. I love my house. This has been my home for the past year and a half where I've really sought refuge. This has been my haven. And yes, I'm moving to Bali, like, and it's very bittersweet, and it sucks. Like, I just can't live here anymore.
I'm this close to spending that last $400 on a one-way ticket.
Yes. Book a one-way ticket out of the US if you are trying to save money. I think all of us can agree that it has become ridiculously expensive to live in the US. Many of us are living paycheck to paycheck and just continuing to accrue debt. And honestly, the only way that I saw out was to sell my house and to move to Bali. And if you don't have a house to sell, that's okay. Take what money that you have in savings and book a one-way ticket to an affordable country like Indonesia, Thailand, Ecuador, Colombia, Vietnam, Cambodia. The cost of living in these countries is less than $1,000. You can probably get it to $200 to $300 for a month.
Why are people leaving the United States for financial reasons? Let me explain why. Since 2021, 3 years ago, electricity rates are up 25%. Used car rates are up 35%. Car insurance is up 33%. Groceries, just to eat, is up 25%. Rent is up 30%. Mortgage rates have doubled. Credit card debt between the ages of 40 and 49 is the highest in history, averaging $7,600. For 3 years ago, you've had to have an increase in $11,434 just to break even, just to live the same way you did 3 years ago. That's why people are leaving. They're looking for a lower cost of living.
Family, many white Americans today are choosing to leave America. It has become the new American dream. For the longest time, white people chose fascism, chose the wrong leaders like Donald J. Trump, thinking that their interests would be put in place. Right now, the high cost of living is making many white folks want to move outside of America. Many citing the reasons to be the high grocery prices. The rent is very, very high, as many people are going homeless, and many people are choosing that they should find peace in other countries where they can actually live with the minimum amount of wage they can get. Unlike America, where right now it's crazier and crazier as days goes by. Myself, I did not see this coming. I did not see white people regret voting for Trump. I did not see white folks losing their privilege as white people. For the longest time, white folks have always thrived under the privilege of being white in America. But right now, with the high cost of living, it doesn't matter the color of your skin. This is affecting everyone. And family, many white folks are regretting because they voted for this. They voted for the high cost of living. They voted for color instead of actual leadership skills, from a leader. Family, I want you to watch this video as white Americans regret and say they are moving outside of America. Fam, once the video is done, we will get back and do a critical analysis about the same. In a special way, I'd also want to thank my subscribers for always supporting me through buying me a coffee. The link for the same is on the description box. Thank you guys. See you once the video is done.
The number one reason why Americans are moving to Mexico is because they can no longer afford to live in the US. So they come down here and they take advantage of the lower cost of living with their American salaries. And yes, I agree that they're moving down here for a better quality of life, right? And with this logic that we shouldn't be mad at the people that are having to move down because they can't afford the US. We should be mad at the large corporations that keep screwing us over and are forcing us to have to move down to other countries where we can afford to live. So you see how you guys have empathy for the Americans that just can't afford to live in the US anymore? Where is that empathy for the immigrants that are going to the US for also a better quality of life? And not necessarily just for the economic opportunities. A lot of them are fleeing prosecution. A lot of them are fleeing and looking for asylum. But even then, Americans have absolutely no empathy for them. And I'm not referring to all Americans, because some do, but the vast majority of them, as we just saw during the elections, don't. The point that I've been making in these last few videos, when I'm comparing how you guys treat other immigrants versus how you guys place American immigrants on a different level, a different standard to be held to when it comes to following immigration laws, circumventing policies, and taking advantage of the loopholes in our immigration systems here in Mexico so that you can come and afford a better quality of life at our expense. Because when Americans come down here, I don't know why some of them have the idea that they're doing us such a favor by just coming and bringing their dollars, when all they're doing is increasing the cost of living for us and making it harder for us to be able to get by on our Mexican salaries. But even then, some of you hold the opinion that, well, we shouldn't be mad at them because they're just looking for a better quality of life, Susan. Okay, well, so are the immigrants from Central America and South America that you guys want to shut the borders down to. It's the hypocrisy for me. And even those Americans that move down here and are just kind of like move down here to get away from the politics, and they maybe don't agree with what's going on, they're also part of the problem, because instead of staying in their countries and fighting for change, they're abandoning ship and going to a different country and creating a different problem for the people that live in that country as well. Gentrification.
I'm this close to spending that last $400 on a one-way ticket.
Yes. Book a one-way ticket out of the US if you are trying to save money. I think all of us can agree that it has become ridiculously expensive to live in the US. Many of us are living paycheck to paycheck and just continuing to accrue debt. And honestly, the only way that I saw out was to sell my house and to move to Bali. And if you don't have a house to sell, that's okay. Take what money that you have in savings and book a one-way ticket to an affordable country like Indonesia, Thailand, Ecuador, Colombia, Vietnam, Cambodia. The cost of living in these countries is less than $1,000. You can probably get it to $200 to $300 for a month. You can stay in hostels. You can house sit for people and have your accommodation completely calm. You can pet sit as well. But slaving in America is not it anymore. We are not the land of the free. We are the land of the slaves. We are common day slaves. All we do is work, eat, sleep, repeat. So if you're sick of struggling and living paycheck to paycheck, the only way that I see out is to leave the US indefinitely. And take it from somebody who has already done so last year. Life is so much better.
Okay, we have to talk about this comment because it is hitting me right where it hurts. If you've never seen me before, my name's Meredith. I'm exploring life outside the United States. I'm currently in Mexico for what was supposed to be 6 months in another country. I did not think it was going to be this bad. Yes, I left the United States entirely for political reasons, but I didn't think it was going to happen this fast. I didn't think I was going to become a resource for dozens and dozens of other families seeking to leave the US and now Canada, because I know that the cost of living there is also astronomical. But watching it unfold, the downfall of the US, like she sums it up perfectly. The downfall of the US is ugly to watch and has to be blamed on someone. It has to be blamed on the voters who voted for this last November. Watching it, knowing that I'm out, knowing I'm safe, but wondering, am I going to be able to get back in? And if I were to get back in, what type of life is there for us? This is the hard part that no one could have warned me about, and now I just sit here and think about all day, every day. And all I try to do is do my best to help people so that everyone knows that you can get out. But what happens next? I don't know. And for everyone who voted for this, yeah, shame on you. Thanks for forcing me, someone who loved my country and was in my country, working in politics and government, trying to make my country a better place. And now what? What's there to go back to?
I am so scared for us American people. Like, if the bills keep rising the way that they do, how are we gonna live? Like, you can't live off minimum wage. There's no damn way. My electric bill is $150. I'm never home. So what's it going to be next year? 200, 300, 400? Rent, thankfully, I have cheap rent. But some people I know are paying like $1,200, $1,500, $2,000 a month. That's insane. Like, I'm scared for like my generation of people and my children. Like, my son, how much is rent gonna be when he's old enough? $4,000? Something's gotta give, because there's no way that we can continue to live this way. Like, us normal people. No way. Who are bringing home $600 a week. And your rent is 2 paychecks. You still have car, gas, groceries, electric, internet, blah, 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 blah. There's no way. Something's gonna happen. Like, we need to, like, protest bills. Stop fucking paying them. Evict us. Stop going to work. Now the government's not getting tax money. Like, the economy's gotta fall. Because otherwise, everyone's just gonna be homeless. I don't know.
Last day in this house here. We are moving out today, January 31st. Finally, I can reveal my address. I don't care if anybody creepy people find it. Fitted RV in there, 2-car garage, 3 bedrooms. New year, new house coming in Europe. So I was paying $2,700 for this, and the next video I'm gonna show a comparison to what I'm getting in Europe for $1,500. It's been a pleasure. Goodbye.
Anyone wanting to move out of America, it's all fine and good, but this is what living abroad looks like. A lot of the time, it's shitty and lonely and scary and exhausting. And there are a lot of people on here who will say, I just moved here and it's great. I know that is true. It's fucking better than America, whatever it is, but there's also a lot of really shitty parts. My daughter was just here for 3 weeks. She left this morning to fly back to go to school. And I miss her already. And I don't have my good friends, my friends who know me here to support me in this moment. And it sucks. So I'm missing my family and my friends. And I've been here 18 months. It's not like I'm new. I don't know why I'm posting this. I hate when people post crying on the internet, but I just want people, I've had a large influx on my FYP of either Americans that are moving abroad, planning to move abroad, have already moved abroad, and there's a lot of us. And there's a lot of reasons to want to move abroad, and I get that America is not a safe place for a lot of people right now. But it's just, you need to know the reality of like how mentally hard it is to start over. It's exciting, but it's also some really shitty days. So
be realistic for a moment. When have you ever in your everyday life come into contact with a problem and the reason was illegal immigrants? When? When has that ever happened? Government is so good at giving you problems that don't exist and giving you a solution, just so that they don't have to address the actual fucking problems that every American faces, okay? Bipartisan, across the board, everyone is saying grocery bill is too high. Why is it $200 for the week to get groceries? That's fucking crazy. The cost of living is insane. My rent for my 1-bedroom apartment is $4,000. $4,000, that's fucking insane. Those are real life problems that everyday people face like me and you, okay? They could address those problems. They have the money to address those problems, and they're proving it by carrying out these mass deportations. I'll say it again, when have you ever had a problem and the direct cause of that problem was an illegal immigrant? They're stealing your jobs. When have you ever been in job competition and you got to the interview process and everything, and an illegal immigrant comes in and swoops up your job? When has that ever happened? It has never happened. This is not a real problem. They're making you look stupid and you're letting it happen. Please stop letting them make you look stupid. They have the money and the power to address these problems, but instead they're putting a big bad guy to be the big distraction and then solving that problem to avoid solving the real life fucking problem that they could be solving. Do you know why they're upset about illegal immigration? It's because they can't control illegal immigrants. There's no social security number. There's no way to track them. There's no way to keep tabs on them. That's what they want to do, okay? And that's not our problem. I'm sorry. As an everyday working American, I have bigger fucking fish to feed. And I know you're gonna say drugs. I know you're gonna say drugs. And I promise you, drugs are a concern for me too. Both of my parents are drug addicts. My dad was just in prison for drugs. But I know for a fact that mass deportations and declaring the cartel a terrorist group is just gonna cause war with Mexico. Americans can't afford to live. Americans can't afford to live, and they're choosing to ignore that and fight this big bad guy that they made up. They made it up, okay? Illegal immigrants are not a problem for you and me, and they try to make it seem like it is because it's a problem for them, and they want you to be on board with them fighting this terrible problem. But it's not a real problem for us. Be realistic. What are the real problems that we could have them solving that they are choosing not to solve because they're choosing to solve this instead?
Actually, I can't afford to stay in the country. See, after my husband died in 2021, I couldn't afford to stay in my house. And then after I lost my job in 2022, I couldn't afford to stay in my city. So we sold everything and left and traveled to Costa Rica for the summer. And then in 2024, I took a job that provided housing for a year. But when that was ending in December of 2024, as a single income, solo parent, one income household, widowed mom, an apartment in St. Augustine, Florida, for me and my son would have been approximately $3,500 a month. So I couldn't afford to stay in the country. So in fact, if you can afford to live in the USA right now, you're the one with privilege. I couldn't afford to stay in the country. Not that I wanted to, because it has turned into an absolute shit show. I mean, I don't want to send my kid to school with a bulletproof backpack. I don't want to have my dad in charge of my medical decisions since my husband is dead. And in general, I don't want to be around the hatred and divisiveness that is happening in the USA. So, I mean, yeah, that's a privilege, but affording to leave the country? No, you're the one privileged there, my guy.
Can't afford a home. I don't feel safe. Groceries are way too expensive.
I just want to know what would possess us Americans to stay in this godforsaken country any longer. Like, I love the idea of, it's going to get better and I'm going to stay here and fight, but like, it's getting worse. It's getting worse. Like, they've taken away women's rights, the homelessness. We can't afford rent anymore. We're making living out of our car like a thing now. Groceries are too expensive. Healthcare, don't get me started on the shit that they put in our foods. So I honestly want to know, honestly, why do you guys still want to stay in this country? Honestly, I saw something about how 2024 is going to be the mass exodus for Americans living in the US. And I can totally see that happening. Like, they are pushing us out. They are making living in this country being a burden. And like, the American dream now is to leave.
Why are people leaving the United States for financial reasons? Let me explain why. Since 2021, 3 years ago, electricity rates are up 25%. Used car rates are up 35%. Car insurance is up 33%. Groceries, just to eat, is up 25%. Rent is up 30%. Mortgage rates have doubled. Credit card debt between the ages of 40 and 49 is the highest in history, averaging $7,600. For 3 years ago, you've had to have an increase in $11,434 just to break even, just to live the same way you did 3 years ago. That's why people are leaving. They're looking for a lower cost of living. Imagine for a minute, if you're on Social Security, if you're on other fixed incomes like VA disability, maybe retirement income, drawing off of an IRA, maybe 4.5% a year. You're not getting COLA increases, cost of living increases, through government programs that equal $11,434. That's why people are living. They just want to survive. All right? They're not looking to get rich. They're not looking to bail on the U.S. They just want to be happy. They don't want to worry about paying their rent or paying their insurance or paying for their groceries. Does that make sense to you? Do you understand why people are leaving now? Don't be ashamed of it. If you need to increase your quality of life by looking outside the United States, do it. Panama, Costa Rica, Colombia, Mexico, Dominican Republic, whatever. If you can increase your quality of life by leaving the U.S., I understand it. And all the power to you.
Today's my last day here in my house. Tomorrow I leave for Bali indefinitely, and it just feels like very bittersweet, so surreal. And I truly, like, I love my house. I love my house. This has been my home for the past year and a half, where I've really sought refuge. This has been my haven. And yes, I'm moving to Bali, like, and it's very bittersweet, and it sucks. Like, I just can't live here anymore. My children are here. I don't really speak to my family, but my children live here. They're 14 and 18 years old. I just don't want to be here. I don't want to be here anymore. I have lived here almost 40 years of my life. There's so much more to the world. There's so much more to the world than just this little piece of backyard, this house. There's so much to see, and I don't want to see it only 2 times a year, only 2 weeks a year. I want a vacation. I want to travel for all my life, but just know that there are sacrifices. There are sacrifices that are made. And this is one of them, having to give up my house yet again, willingly, but having to do this in order to get to what I want. This is the closing of a chapter and the beginning of another one, and it's beautiful, it's bittersweet, but at the same time, it's the bitter part now. It's the bitter part now.
Hey, what's up, America? We have a big problem that we all need to talk about. And that's a little-known financial crisis that everybody's dealing with, but nobody's talking about. 74% of Americans are now living paycheck to paycheck. This means that 3/4 of America use all the money they make at their paycheck just to fund their lives, with no money left over at the end of it. So 75% of people in the United States get money when they get paid, and it's all gone with their bills, and they have nothing left for savings, recreation, or catching up on previous bills. 75% of people. Before Joe Biden, that number was 48%, jumping to as high as 67% at the end of his presidency, to now ballooning to 3/4 of the entire nation barely getting by. Yes, 75% of the nation is barely getting by and financially struggling. This also comes among a new study that says the rich in the United States are the richest they've ever been, and they're gaining more money. So the time for wealthy people having a bunch of money is fucking coming to an end. We have plenty of wealthy people having plenty of money. The rest of the country doesn't have a fucking pot to piss in anymore. So we need Doge stimulus checks, or we need less tax burden, or more money one way or another. Let's get fucking to it. But it's not gonna happen, is it? It's just gonna keep getting worse.
Family, for the longest time, problems and poverty have always been linked with black people because of the systemic injustices perpetuated in black communities over the years. Black folks have always been deemed as people who are struggling. You know, economically in the US, black folks are not in the same positions with their white counterparts. Seeing white people today in America cry on live camera shows us that the time of enjoying the privileges that comes with whiteness is coming to an end. Everyone is on the level ground, irrespective with your job, irrespective of the color of your skin. Everyone is still struggling. Family, you notice that if there is inflation and the wage is still constant, that means that many Americans are thriving and are struggling, with pay cuts, because your wage cannot be the same when the prices of common commodities are going high and high in this time of inflation. That means people are going through pay cuts, and that is the reality right now in America. What amazes me most is the fact that most people who are affected are actually white folks. Black people are actually used to these systems. Black people are used to systems that do not support them. since the days of slavery, mass incarceration, Jim Crow. The black man has always been known to be that person who struggles and thrives, in spaces that deem them weak, that they cannot thrive in. They still find their way, to actually be successful people. White people are used to the privileges that comes with whiteness. But right now, family, America is going crazy each and every day. It does not matter the color of your skin. Everyone is feeling the heaviness of inflation, the heaviness of the very high cost of living. And most people are sorting to leave America. People are choosing to move outside of America to get quality life, to be in a life stress-free. They'd rather go to countries where they can earn, a little bit of money in dollars from the US and be able to pay for their bills comfortably in these other countries. Right now, having a family in America is a nightmare, according to many white Americans. They'd rather go outside of America and find other sources where they can be able to earn. And most Americans, actually, what they are doing right now, if they can work remotely online, what they are doing is leave America, go work in another country, get paid in dollars, and be able to survive in those countries. That has just been another hack to be able to survive, since everything is going expensive each and every day. White Americans are now choosing to leave US because of the high cost of living. It has become the new American dream. Groceries prices are going up, rent prices up, mortgage rates doubled, credit card debt increasing every day. When I heard this lady in the video saying she pays 4,000 US dollars for rent, you're like, yo, 4,000 is crazy. How much do you even earn for you to be able to pay $4,000 in rent each and every month? Imagine how crazy that can be. I imagine how she's probably struggling with her family. The easiest way for her is to leave America. That rent price is very, very high. And most of them are actually having credit card debts. Each and every day when they go to shopping, they cannot be able to afford the prices of groceries because they are going up each and every time. If you intended to use $300, you'd end up even spending double. So you need to use your credit card for you to be able to remain afloat. And family, this is affecting people each and every day. People would rather move to other countries where prices of groceries are cheaper, and be able to survive. During this Trump era, there's been a lot of tariffs, and many other countries are avoiding the US. Many countries are avoiding to export stuff to the US because of their high tariffs. At the same time, not all countries are ready to take in products from the US. For example, Mexico was a good receiver of food from America, but right now with the high tariff rates, nobody is able to buy food from America. Farmers are struggling each and every day. Life is becoming unbearable slowly, and people are now getting a far-for moment, especially white Americans who actually voted for this to happen. They're getting the rude awakening, crazy far-for moment, and they're actually regretting so much why they actually voted for these 10. People are now looking for a lower cost of living. How are they doing that? They are moving to other countries. People are seeking happiness, not even about being rich. At this point, people are tired. People do not want even to be rich. People do not want to improve their lives as much. Or the only thing most people want right now is to be able to maintain their life, to be able to pay for their bills. And that is the struggle that many people in America are having today. They'd rather move to a different country and have happiness and be able to sustain their lifestyle. They want to be able to pay for their bills and be in working systems, not like the one in America, the most people actually voted for, and people are highly regretting. When I see white folks crying each and every day on the internet, it just shows me how life can change. At any given point in time, let me tell you one thing, family. Never put somebody down because of their positions in the time you are up. For the longest time, white people have always treated black folks as inferiors, as people who do not make sense in life. But right now, they are getting a rude awakening. They are also struggling, man. They're struggling very, very hard. They are crying all over the internet, and their only option is to flee their country because they cannot be able to sustain, how much things are crazy in the US right now. Americans are choosing life by living outside of the United States. They are giving out countries where they can actually survive easily and the cost of living is relatively cheaper, like Panama, Costa Rica, Colombia, Mexico, Dominican Republic. People are looking at other markets where they can be able to thrive and be able actually to survive, without having any pressures, get quality life, be free. At times peace is everything that a human being wants, even as we chase money each and every day. Family, let me know in the comment section down below what you think about this new idea from white Americans of fleeing America and looking for greener pastures outside of America. Guys, I'd highly appreciate if you all took your time to like the video so that it can be recommended to other YouTube users. Lastly, I'd highly appreciate if you all took your time to subscribe to the channel. We are currently on the road to 50,000 subscribers, and guys, I'd really appreciate if you'd be a part of the 50,000 subs before we actually reach that mark. We just turned 29,000 subs, and guys, that has been a massive milestone. I do not take it for granted. Let us share the channel widely and be able to learn together each and every day. Thank you, family. See you all in our next episode. Goodbye for now.